Hello, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm going to be doing a reading for the full moon in Scorpio. I'm so excited. I love the energy of Scorpio. I have a Scorpio rising, and I can just feel the energy of the sacral chakra and just a lot of like old things ending, and like I don't know, it just feels like I don't know, the things are looking good, but it's also like a very like intense time. So if you're not like, all that's been keeping me like sane and like especially with my mental health and like feeling good is being in my body, and I feel like that's huge. It's like being in our body, especially with the Scorpio full moon, which represents like our sexuality. It represents like shadow work. It represents like death and rebirth. And so like getting really in tune to your sensuality and your sexuality and your body, and like feeling good in your body. And I think a lot of us like struggle to feel good in our bodies because we also don't do a lot of things that are good for our bodies. So yeah, yoga has been like saving me, or just like even like very slow yoga. Like it's not like a intense routine. It's just like literally being with my body, taking that time to be quiet. And yoga has honestly just helped me with my intuition, and that's why I like to do it, because I receive a lot of information. I just get connected to the divine, and I get connected to myself, and I think that's what this energy is about. It's like connecting into ourselves, like connecting deeply with ourselves. And another thing that this is bringing up is intimacy, and that's the whole point, is getting really intimate with yourself, like being intimate with yourself. Can you sit in your body and like be with your body and feel what it feels like, and feel the emotions that arise, and feel the thoughts that arise, and can you not attach yourself to them? Can you like be fully in your own being? That's what it feels like to be in our own being. But then also recognizing how is being in our being and being fully embodied affecting the collective. So it's about like being with yourself, but also like recognizing that the shifts that we're going to make collectively come from doing the individual work and doing that inner work. And so there's just like a lot of shadow work coming up, in my opinion, which I love the shadow work. I really love working with the psyche and just diving deep into that feminine energy. I love the feminine energy, although it can be scary. And this is what I'm picking up, is this is going to be very like challenging for the masculine energy, because they're very like they're going to want certainty. They want like they need structure. They need like they're kind of more like factual and practical. But that's another thing, is like I saw this thing about releasing unrealistic expectations. That's what I love. I love that it's more like of a it's like getting really in tune to like it feels like a very good balance of the masculine and feminine energies, honestly. But I feel like it's only that way if you've done a lot of like work already to really heal your feminine and masculine energies, or if you've been working on it. But if it's not something you know anything about, I feel like this time is a time of like great awakening, and there's a lot of people awakening. There's a lot of light beings, I like to call them light beings, or like light workers awakening. What I'm feeling is that this is coming from a lot of despair. It's coming from a lot of darkness. So a lot of people that may have experienced like sexual abuse in any form. I feel like what happens is when we experience those, especially as childhood and as childhood wounds, they can stop us from being intimate. Or a lot of people that have experienced that also tend to cope with like drugs and alcohol, and can tend to only be like physically intimate when they are not with themselves, not in the present moment. It's like, can we be with ourselves without shaming anything that's ever happened to us? And a lot of what's happening is like this sexual energy. We've shamed our sexual energy. We've been taught to shame our sexual energy, and it causes a lot of like trauma. And that's something that's going to be highlighted. I feel like it already kind of has been, like politically, with the bill that was just passed in Alabama. And really like we're really awakening to this like that we own our bodies, but so many of us allow like other things to own our bodies, because we're putting things in them that aren't good for us. They might like feel good at that time, they might gratify our ego at that time. And this goes for relationships. Who are we allowing into our lives? What is the energy we're allowing to our lives? What is the food we're eating? Because if you look behind food, and this is something I'm learning, if you look behind the food, it's energy. So what are you putting into your body? And getting really clear about like what we're putting into our bodies, and letting go of things that aren't working. So that's what full moons are about. Is about like, they're about illumination. So we're going to be illuminating the darkness. So if you do have like any sexual wounds, like any sexual trauma from this lifetime or past, these wounds may be triggered or come to your mind, or they may be keeping you from being intimate and diving deep with the person, or not allowing people to see who you truly are, all of you. and recognizing that your experiences aren't good or bad. Like, if we stopped labeling our experiences as good as bad or our emotions as good as bad, we would just see them as they are, and we could learn from them. So that's kind of what I'm getting as an overview. A lot of energy coming through already. I'm going to go ahead and start with the tarot, of course. So I'm just going to ask, where are we at collectively with this full moon? Where are we at right now? Just going to ask for my energy to be cleared, cleanse my aura, open up my auditory and visuals, clear out my crown chakra to my divine guidance, making me a clear channel for the divine. Bless these cards, bless this reading, and bless me. Okay, Spirit, what do we need to know? Where are we at right currently with this full moon in Scorpio? Where are we at right now with this energy? Okay, the world. So that's what I was kind of feeling, like a completion of something, like, but also like beginnings. This is like coming full circle, or like breaking old habits, breaking old belief patterns. That's especially important, I'm feeling, as we're seeing past a lot of limiting beliefs, especially around maybe our sexuality, around success, around money, around sex, like around creation, and really like breaking anything that is no longer serving our highest good. That's what I'm feeling there. Let's see what else comes with that. What else can you tell us about the world here? Where are we at currently? We're like wrapping up a cycle, finishing something up. It's extremely windy here right now. I feel like that always happens every time I do a reading outside, but hopefully you can hear me okay. I never know until after I watch it later. Okay, what else can you tell us about the world and where we're at right now with this full moon in Scorpio? All right, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So yeah, this is kind of what I'm feeling. It's like wrapping up anything that's not like whatever's keeping you from this. This is very like an abundant card. It's the physical plane. It's feeling very like stable. It's feeling very prosperous. That's what I really like. So I'm also picking up that we're learning what it means. Like, what is this for you? What does abundance look like for you? What does prosperity look like for you? Like, getting really clear on what your values are. And kind of like getting rid of or releasing anything that doesn't serve this bigger picture that you have, because this is kind of like the bigger picture to me. This is like leaving behind a legacy. This is like the ultimate like earth plane card, in my opinion, because it's, there's an old wise man here. This kind of represents one person for me. So like our old inner wisdom, like our old masculine energy, like that wise old man within us, and then we have like the dogs on here, which always to me says like loyalty, but it also represents like our instincts, it feels like, and then our masculine and feminine energies. And then there's a child here on the card, so this inner child, and really balancing all these energies within us. I just really like that. That's like about leaving something long-term behind, building something long-term with a solid foundation, that's very abundant, that's very prosperous in the physical plane, like very successful. So that's what I'm getting. It's like really shifting our views around success and figuring out what success means for us, and then doing whatever that is what I'm getting. Okay. What's being illuminated with this full moon? What is being illuminated? Whoops. With this full moon. What is being illuminated with this? Okay, we have the 7 of Cups. So like this is like to me a card of like feeling overwhelmed, having a lot of options, kind of feeling like emotionally overwhelmed. That's what I'm getting. That's what's being illuminated. And also like I like that this person always represents like the shadow self to me. So like so many ants on me. Getting really clear about what you want is what I'm getting. That's what's being illuminated. That's like we're really figuring out what we want. Like, there might be a lot of different directions you could go. There might be a lot of different options before you. Like, you might be, like, faced with a lot of, like, options right now. Or, like, what I'm feeling is, like, a lot of people, there are so many different choices, you know, and each choice leads to a different direction. And that's what I'm kind of feeling here. It's like, you might feel like there's many directions that this could go, or that your life could go, or that this 10 of Pentacles, there's multiple different ways that could be created with every choice we decide to make and how we choose to move forward. But when we have, like, because this is like, when I see the shadow self, I think of, like, our fears. So we could choose to follow our fears, or we can choose to follow, like, you know, we could choose to step into the unknown and choose to do something different, or choose to, it's also a card of, like, evaluation and seeing what it is, like, getting back to what you love is what I'm feeling. Like, let's see what else comes up. Yeah, you might just be feeling, like, overwhelmed with all that's on your plate, kind of. Yeah, I'm just getting this very sense of overwhelm. But that's what we have to do, though, is that what's what happens. We get overwhelmed. It's like, okay, we need to start discarding what is not working, what is not adding value to our lives, you know, what is not working anymore, and really allowing ourselves to leave behind what is not serving us and working. Okay, what else is being illuminated with this 7 of Cups here? It's being illuminated. Okay, Ace of Cups, so another cup. So this is to me about, like, emotional beginnings. Like, it could be about romance, it could be about love. It's just, like, emotional, like, an emotional gift, an emotional, renewal, kind of, is what I'm getting. That's the word I hear, is renewal. And I like that there's a dove on top. I'm just really picking up on peace, because that's what these two cards are kind of, like, opposite. Like, I'm getting a very peaceful energy with this, like, feeling very, like, grateful, feeling very emotionally fulfilled. This is, like, also a gift from Spirit. Like, here Spirit is saying, like, here, we're giving you a gift. And what I'm getting is that this gift is of peace. It's like a peace offering. That's what I'm considering. Spirit is like, here you go. But you don't have to be overwhelmed. That when you're focused on love, when you're focused on feeling good, when you're feeling good in your emotions, when you're following your emotions, when you're listening to your emotions, you'll feel this sense of peace. Like, if you're not in this sense of peace, like, you're kind of, like, you're in your fears, you know. And so then this to me, like, the clouds, this is representing the mind. So this is like your judgment is being clouded. This could also be, like, romance. That's what I'm picking up on, is love, and like, calling in connections, like emotional fulfilling connections. This doesn't mean, I guess, just romance. This could also just mean, like, caring connections, like friendships. But what I'm getting is it's important to cultivate this feeling within yourself, to cultivate this feeling of emotional fulfillment, this inner peace. And as you do that inner peace, you don't feel overwhelmed anymore. You know exactly where you're going. You know exactly what your emotions are telling you. You know, you don't feel this sense of, like, overwhelmed, because you know you're at peace. You're in the present moment. This card to me is like you're not in the present moment. It's like kind of scattered. Your energy's kind of scattered. So call back in your energy, and I think that's what Spirit is giving the gift of, like, we're giving you this opportunity to retreat and go within and to focus on the feelings. What do you feel? Maybe you feel really good, but your mind is kind of, like, tricking you, or your emotions. Maybe your emotions are trying to trick you. Like, this is kind of like a card of, like, trickery to me, kind of, too. It's like your emotions are kind of, like, not under your control. So it's, like, important to stay grounded is what I'm getting. What I'm getting is that, though, this energy is kind of leaving. This energy of, like, uncertainty, of not knowing what direction to go in, or where to move forward towards, or what to move towards. I'm getting that Spirit is saying, move towards this, move towards love, move towards peace, move towards emotional fulfillment within yourself. And then you attract the same, you know, through friendships, through romance, through business. Okay, I like that. All right. What do we need to release? What do we need to release this full moon? What needs to be released? Okay, this is 4 of Cups. So this energy of, like, lack, of, like, dissatisfaction, this is what needs to be released. This energy of, like, you're missing out on something, because you're not missing out on anything, is what I'm getting. Like, here's Spirit giving you a gift again. This is the cup, literally. This is like spirit, this little cloud is giving this man this cup, and he's like, no, I don't want this. Maybe because it doesn't look like what you want it to look like. And that could be like blocking you from receiving whatever it is spirit wants to give you. Spirit is saying, here, we're giving you this cup. We're giving you this like love. We're giving you this emotional fulfillment. We're giving you this peace. And you don't want it because it doesn't look like what you want it to look like. And so you're kind of like closing yourself off. So that's what spirit wants you to say. Spirit wants us to stop closing off our hearts so that we can receive. That's what I'm getting. To stop closing off our hearts, to stop. This is like focusing on the negative, focusing on the lack, focusing on just what isn't there, like just being totally dissatisfied. Yeah. That's what needs to be released. This energy needs to be released. It's the release of like, nothing's working out for me. I'm not feeling support. This pessimistic attitude needs to go. It needs to be released because it is not serving you, especially with receiving love, because that's what I'm getting is a lot of people have very pessimistic, especially the masculine I'm picking up, has very pessimistic views towards love. And because the cups are always a cup of like romance and emotions and love to me. There are feelings. And yeah, that's what I'm picking up there. Is this very like pessimistic attitude towards like success, towards abundance, towards love mostly is what I'm picking up on. Okay, let's see what else do we need to know about this Four of Cups? What do we need to release with this Four of Cups here? What needs to be released? Okay, Six of Swords. So this is, I like that. I think this is like moving away from this energy. Like, this is to me a card of like, yeah, like moving to calmer waters, like especially mentally. And it may take a minute is what I'm getting. It's like, like release this expectation that things have to happen like quickly or like all of a sudden is what I'm getting. Like, don't expect things to be like bam all at once, like especially like receiving something. That's what I'm getting. Like, because you see like the cup is where spirit is giving here, spirit is also giving here, and what I'm just getting is like allow things to like move at their own pace. This is moving away from conflict too. This could be like moving away from this inner conflict of like not allowing yourself to receive, not feeling worthy of receiving. I think spirit is saying that to like move away from that energy of like not opening yourself up. Like spirit wants you to open up, and maybe this could be a card of travel, and this could just be like moving away from that, like, yeah, that inner conflict and dissatisfaction, and moving to that state of peace. Let's pull one more there actually. What else needs to be released? What can you tell us about this Six of Swords here? I'm also going to do an oracle card, but I like the tarot. What can you tell us about the Six of Swords and what we're releasing with this full moon? Okay, the Hierophant. Rigid beliefs, that's what I hear. Like old, outdated, because okay, this card can represent either one, like being very like traditional, being very, very traditional, and on the other hand it can be being very like unconventional, being very like out of the box is what I'm getting. So it's like moving away from this energy of like kind of like not knowing what to do with that Six of Cups, and like being divinely led is what this card is always saying to me. And like you can see that they're kind of being led away here, like this man is kind of leading, like taking this maybe this woman, I don't know, you can't really see her, and this child in this boat, and moving away. And that I'm just receiving that, because this is also just a card, I'm getting that it's about releasing like very old archaic beliefs. That's what I was picking up too with this Four of Cups, though, this like not receiving, like being very closed off. And what I'm feeling is just like moving away from that, but you're being divinely guided, and that's why I was saying that it's not going to happen like right away. It's going to be like a slow process because these are deeply ingrained beliefs. I'm just getting like religion. I'm picking up on religion right away is what I'm picking up on. Like religious beliefs that have kept you from like opening your heart. Very old, archaic, rigid beliefs, especially in the masculine energy. But this is also a card of like commitment, and it's a card of that I'm getting to release like any fear, to release any like pessimism, and just like allow yourself to be led. Allow yourself to open up to this energy, like, because this is like spiritual guidance to me. It's a very spiritual card. That's what I'm getting there. Okay, I just heard releasing control, and that's what also reminds me of this Four of Cups. Like, he wants to control how it like looks, or how this cup comes. Like, it's like he's not satisfied with how this cup is coming. And I don't mean to say he. That's just the he on the card. It doesn't matter. Gender does not apply. That's what is being released. Is like this need to control how things go. And this is definitely a card about control, and letting go of control. I like that. Letting go of expectations, beliefs, just like letting things be what they are, and letting them naturally like resolve themselves, kind of, by being in your own energy, by like letting go of that energy of not enough, of like closing yourself off. I like that. Okay. What is your advice for us with this full moon? What is your advice for us with this full moon? Actually, let's do what is your advice right now? What is your advice for us with this full moon? Okay, 10 of Swords. Allowing what's not serving you to die, like allowing yourself to, and this is a card of death. Like, I like that this card came up because of the energy of like the Scorpio full moon, and like Pluto being involved, and like there's like death and transformation, because you see like it's death and rebirth. You see there's a sun, there is light on the horizon, but it's very dark, and this person is like stabbed in the back. This is, to me, it's always like a card of like egoic death. So that's what I'm feeling too. That's what this energy is about to me. It's like shedding the ego, and this is like and that's what happens. We let go of control, and we surrender to a higher power. This is like a higher power to me. Like, we surrender to a higher power, and allowing that to move us whatever direction it will, and not controlling how it looks, or not controlling the outcome. And I feel like that's a huge lesson collectively that we're learning, is how to let go of control. Woo! Because we want like this, 10 of Pentacles, but we want to kind of control, and I said that right at 22222. We want to like control how this goes, or maybe we want to control what it looks like, especially to other people. And Spirit is saying, because what I'm getting also with this card is that the other end, it's like it's going to look very different from what you have been taught. It's going to look so different, and you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone, and that might be why it's like this Four of Cups, like not feeling satisfied, or not, it's not looking what you want it to look like, and releasing that expectation that it's supposed to look a certain way, that success is supposed to look a certain way, that, especially that's what I'm getting, or that love is supposed to look a certain way. Like, we're really shifting our views on love and money. And I feel that I think it's Venus that's involved with that, but I'm just feeling that intensely, like how we view love and money, and what we do. What are we willing to do, or what are we not doing? Why are we neglecting love so that we have lots of money? Like, there needs to be a greater balance of those two, in my opinion, collectively. Okay, so yeah, letting the ego die, but knowing that there's like light on the horizon. Like, the 10 is a completion. That's another, like, the World card that we got, which is a completion. The 10 is, that's the advice right now, to let go, to die, to let yourself die. Let yourself be reborn is what I'm getting. And that's the Scorpio energy. Woo! It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes, and I love my Scorpio rising energy. I love it. It is very dark and shadowy, but it's beautiful. Okay, so what else is your advice with this 10 of Swords here? What is your advice for us this full moon? Yes, I'm glad this came up. So this represents Scorpio, and this is the death card. Exactly. Let yourself die. I was literally just saying that. I love when that happens. This is exactly it. Letting yourself die, letting anything that's not serving you die. Let it all go. And this is like metaphorical death. So like, and whatever is like dying will come back to you. Like, or whatever's meant to, whatever, okay, you're going to die. This is what's going to happen. You're going to die, like, metaphorically, Old layers of you are going to be shed. And what happens is, like, you just slowly begin to let go of these things, like, whether it's thought patterns, whether it's toxic habits, whether it's certain people, whether it's jobs, whatever it is, whatever you begin to recognize isn't making you feel fulfilled, that isn't bringing you this sense of emotional fulfillment, whatever that isn't, you're going to begin to switch, because the soul, if the ego is dying so that the soul can be, it's like in a storm here, so that the soul can be illuminated, and so the soul can expand, and whatever is not allowing your soul to expand will want to die, and it will push and it will push and push until you let it go. And this can be a very exhausting time. So please take care of yourself. Please be in your body. Please eat good food. Try to drink lots of water, especially around the full moon, to really just take care of yourself, because this can be a hard time, and it can be a scary time. It brings up a lot of fear. But allowing yourself to relax in the midst of it will really help you move through it. And that's about embracing your feminine energy, being in the stillness, being in the quiet, being with your body, meditating, doing yoga, nurturing yourself, eating nourishing foods, grounding, being in nature, because it can feel really heavy. And that's what I'm getting, is that the energy can feel really heavy. People might feel like they're blind, maybe they're not seeing things clearly, things are really awakening in people, is what I'm getting. There is this sense of death, let things die. Okay. And then underneath the deck was conflict, 5 of Swords, which represents conflict to me. And then under that though was okay, I feel like sharing these because they feel relevant. So then after that defeat, and after you let this defeat go and you let this conflict go, you move into this energy of 9 of Cups, and this is a beautiful energy. This is wishes coming true, your wishes being fulfilled, feeling really good on your own, knowing your worth, knowing your value, feeling feeling good, feeling proud of yourself. And then under that was the Star. So then moving towards your destiny, moving towards healing, being guided by the stars, allowing yourself to, this is just a card of grace and of beauty and allowing things to go as they will and going with the flow. And then under that, I love this because it's the Queen of Pentacles, and it matches perfectly with the 10 of Pentacles that we had. So this is nurturing yourself, being that divine mother, grounding yourself to the nature, feeling really good in your body, feeling worthy, feeling abundant and beautiful and wealthy. I love that. And then under that was her counterpart, the King of Pentacles. So this could be an earth sign, or it could just be, just this energy of feeling very good in your body, that he is the ultimate earth king. So he's very fruitful, he's very abundant, he's very powerful in his energy and in a lot of Pentacles. And then under that was 9 of Pentacles. So feeling very successful, feeling very abundant and taken care of, kind of, and feeling self-reliant and independent. I love her. I love the 9 of Pentacles. And then under that was the Fool. And that just what spoke to me, is taking a leap of faith, allowing yourself to move towards what it is that you want, allowing yourself to have the dreams and the desires that you wish for, and really opening yourself up and taking that chance and taking that leap. So that was beautiful. All right, now let's pull some Oracle cards, but I'm already at 30 minutes. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to use Energy Oracle. Alright, Spirit. What can you tell us here? Actually, I'm feeling called to shuffle them. Time. Okay. Alright, Spirit, what can you tell us here with what we need to know right now with this full moon, with the World and the 10 of Pentacles? What do we need to know about this? Caring connections. Number 14 or number 5. I like that. I was feeling kind of that, where we're at right now is coming full circle. This might be relationships ending and new relationships beginning. I like that with the 10 of Pentacles, because this is a card of family to me, and relationships, but it's a very grounded energy. So that's beautiful. Maybe you've been working on manifesting a relationship, and I'm getting that it will become more in the physical. You'll see more in the physical of this caring connections, or because your energy has changed is what I'm getting. And knowing your worth and knowing your value, And that's what I feel like the Ten of Pentacles is about. Is like we really create this energy, this Ten of Pentacles energy, when we really know our worth and we believe in ourselves, and we know our value. So that's beautiful. That's where we're at right now. So yeah, like I just feel like there's a lot of like, especially with this egoic death, our souls are going to be awakening, and we're going to be calling in these relationships they're contracts, they're soul contracts that we have, that's what I'm also getting with this Hierophant card too. This is about like commitment, and like soul contracts to me too as well. So that's awesome. That's where we're at right now. And this might just be affecting your relationship. So this might be relationships needing to end. Maybe you've been guided to end a relationship and you haven't done it because it makes you feel safe. But it makes you feel secure, but maybe there's not a lot of passion there. Maybe there's not a lot of love there. Maybe it just is gratifying to the ego, and the ego is dying. The ego doesn't care, or the ego cares. The ego is dying. The soul wants to be liberated. The soul wants its counterpart, and it will call out for that. Because when I was awakening 2 years ago, I didn't know it at the time what was happening, but it's like my soul was just like calling out. I felt like this intense pull from like behind my heart. That's what it felt like. It was nuts. I'd never felt anything like it before. So yeah, relationships might be ending, and you might be calling in new, and if you need any confirmation, this relationship will be successful in the physical. It will work out. Like if you're like scared, or like you don't want to take maybe that leap of faith that we had underneath the deck, you're not ready to take that leap of faith because, we have these very rigid beliefs, and maybe we've been hurt around love, or we've been hurt by like other connections, but this is saying that like, I'm also getting with the world and like that completion, that you're completing that like cycle of like relationships, like you're always calling in like terrible relationships, or relationships that are not balanced or that aren't healthy. But when we are healthy within ourselves, and we shift our energy within ourselves, then we don't call in those relationships anymore. We don't call in people that treat us like garbage anymore, because we're not treating ourselves like garbage anymore, pretty much is what I'm getting. So yeah, you might be like meeting certain people, like this, not even caring connections, doesn't even always have to be romance. Like if you're calling in friendships, whatever it is you're calling in, like there are caring connections, like there's just people awakening to these soul contracts, whether they know they are or not. Like the divine, and we saw the star there too. That reminds me, that card always speaks to me of destiny, and like really shifting our destiny. When we really elevate our energy, we shift our destiny. Okay, I think I asked, what is being illuminated? What is being illuminated with this full moon? With this Ace of Cups and the Six of Cups. What is being illuminated with this full moon? Journey. I like that. I love this card. It's probably one of my favorite cards from this deck. This is about, like, this could be about actual travel, which I have already mentioned. And you might be traveling. That might be, like, the confusion, like not knowing where to go, or, like, I honestly felt that. Like, I feel divinely guided to move. It's something I've felt for a really long time. But it's also a lot of fears that I've had to work with, and I didn't know kind of, like, what direction to go in. So this is, like, resonating for me, too. But also, like, I can speak for personal experience if that's something you're dealing with, or you're feeling called to move locations, or you're feeling, because what's happening is like I said, with our destiny, and we're calling in these soul contracts, and what spirit wants for us, and what they're giving us, this cup here, what they're giving us is an opportunity to put us in the right place at the right time, so that we meet these caring connections, that we meet the people that are meant to be in our lives. And that's what I'm getting, is to, like, this could also be about journeying inward though as well, but I'm really picking up on, like, physical movement, honestly. And really, but this is also about discovering more about who you are too. But maybe, like, travel gives you an opportunity to discover more about who you are and what you're made of. And this is also, I like all the different directions. It says crossroads, scenic view, curious town. So, like, and she looks very, like, happy. She only has, like, one bag here. So, like, yeah, I just like that. That's what's being illuminated. So you may feel like called to travel, is what I'm picking up, is there's a lot of people that are feeling called to travel, or to move, or to relocate, just from this inner knowing, is what I'm getting, or like spirit, or maybe you're going to be given a gift, an opportunity to move or to travel, is what I'm getting. That's what's being illuminated somehow. Okay, very interesting. Let's move on to, what do we need to release with this full moon? Do we need to release? the Hierophant, Four of Cups, and what else? Oh, Six of Swords. That needs released. Door to romance. That's what I was feeling though too, and this is also number 33, the attachment, the need to control how this like door opens, or how this romance like kind of comes about, or like that's what I was feeling with this like this four of cups, and feeling like dissatisfied, like not liking how it looks, and moving away from that energy of like it not looking how you thought it was going to look like. I love that. And like, but I'm picking up with the Hierophant that you are being led to romance, but it's not going to look like what you want. And that might be challenging. So to let go of like attachments, and to let go of that rigidity, to let go of the control of how it happens and when it happens and what it looks like, and letting go of expectations to what your romantic life is going to look like. It may look different. Like I was saying, it may look different from what you've been taught. And I feel like that's what is happening. Like the soul connection that I've been on for the last like 2 years has not looked anything like I thought it was going to look like. Yet it's been everything that I needed in order to heal me, in order to shed my ego, in order to kill me. Honestly, to kill my ego. And I feel like that's what relationships were intended for. Not to gratify our egos, but to actually annihilate our egos, so that we can be more intimate, so that we can connect on a soul level in an intimate way. And sometimes it can be hard when we have wounds to that, and so we need to heal in order to allow this love to open, to allow the door to flourish, like to allow the door open and let the love in, you know. But when we can't do that when we're in this energy of like, this isn't good enough, or this isn't what I want, or like being closed off. So Spirit is saying like, I'm leading you. I want you to open your heart. Spirit is saying that I want you to open your heart, and this is how I'm going to do it. This is how it's going to happen. And like, that's what I felt with the Six of Swords, is like just being led, like, but with least resistance. That's what I felt like. So if this is happening for you, like you're allowing it. That's what I'm feeling, like you're allowing it, allowing yourself to move out of this energy, and allowing yourself to be led to this romance that you're actually seeking, like that you're seeking from a soul level. That's beautiful. Okay, what is your advice for this full moon? What is your advice for us this full moon? Okay, we had Goddess of the Moon in reverse. So what I'm getting here is because this is like a disconnect from your intuition. So you may not be like following your intuition, and that's why there's like this death and this ego death and this rebirth, and like a lot, like your ego being like this is like a card of like being humbled too, like recognizing that you weren't in control, or that you weren't right, not that we're right or we're wrong, but like allowing us to like let go and not like be like stuck in that energy of like, no, I know best for myself, and allowing like Spirit to lead us, and surrendering and letting go. Let's pull one more there. What else is your advice with the Goddess of the Moon in reverse? I don't have the book out here with me, otherwise I'd read that one. What is your advice with the Goddess of the Moon in reverse? Adjacent possibilities in reverse. This card in reverse is saying like to not be too not to be too married to your agenda, to not, there's so many different ways that this could go is what I'm getting. And if you're too married to how something is supposed to look, or how it's supposed to go, like you're just gonna continue to like feel disappointed and be disappointed, because it's about letting go of expectations. And especially I'm just picking up on love, and love is freedom. Love is liberation. Love does not force, it does not push, it just allows. And that's what I'm getting is dying, is our need to control that just is coming in strong. That's the advice, is to just let things kind of be how they are. And just because it doesn't look like it doesn't mean that your intuition is wrong. It just means that your mind can't comprehend how it's supposed to look. Your mind will never understand. Your mind will never, because it's too beautiful, it's too extravagant, it's too divine, it's too immaculate for you to even comprehend it with your mind, so you'll never understand. And the more you can continue to rely on your mind to bring you romance, the more you're going to probably push it away, or you're going to attract people that aren't meant for you. Well, they are meant for you because you're in that energy, I guess. You attracted them. But just be aware of your energy. And just don't let just know that things could go so many different ways. That's what I was getting with that Ace of Cups and that Six of Cups too, is like knowing that things can go so many different ways. Anyway, and then underneath the deck was the first chakra, Archangel Michael. I love him. The root chakra. So this has everything to do with stability, finances, wealth, health, fears, the material plane. It's our, it has to do with our health, our home. Underneath that, yes, definitely was attachment. So needing to let go of attachment, needing to let go of things that are chaining you down, taking off your mask. That's what the ego death is about, releasing this mask and taking off this mask. 5 is also a number of change. And then under that was, I love that this is on here, so the sacral chakra, which is associated with Scorpio, and this is our creation energy, our life force energy, our sexual energy. It's related to intimacy, which I love. So really healing the intimacy, and it's upright. I love that the root chakra and this are upright. And then contract in reverse. So this is like maybe like a delay or things falling through or something not going as planned. That's why it's important to have adjacent possibilities and be very open-minded about how things go, is what I'm getting. But then under that was Angel of Love, which I love, like knowing that you're being led by love, that you're protected by love, that you have angels with you, and that whenever you feel like sad or whenever you feel like, to always shift your focus back to love. Always shift your focus back to love. Otherwise you'll continue to be in fear. Okay. I kind of wanted to do one for magical messages from the fairies, but I'm already at 41, so I'm just gonna, because I think that was already a lot of information. I'll do one from Lightworker Oracle to end it. Okay, Spirit. One last message here from the Lightworker Oracle. What do we need to know? And what is the overall message for this Scorpio full moon here? What is the overall message you have for us? Hold your center, number 34. There's also a dove on this one too, so that really reminds me of peace. Beautiful card. Hold your center. Oh my gosh, and I just have to share this one. I'm not going to read it, but this was underneath it. Dark Night of the Soul. Yes, that's exactly the energy of Scorpio and Pluto and this Death card here and this 10 of Swords. That's the Dark Night of the Soul, which can be extremely painful. It hurts. It's not fun. But it's worth it if you allow yourself to go through it. Okay, it's number 34. Have you been rushing out to meet others, trying to bend or accommodate their needs at the expense of your own well-being and inner peace? Now you are to strengthen your own energy, your own boundaries, to find your ground, firmly place your feet there and do not move. Feel your feet anchoring you like a beautiful tree. Let yourself experience quiet certainty as you hold your center with commitment, courage, and consciousness. You are learning to trust in your own instincts, to take your own journey without comparison to the life path of another. Exactly. There is no need to become disheartened or distracted. This is disheartened. There's no need to be disheartened or distracted by comparisons or judgments. The earth needs your light, which can only come from you. You will offer so much less if you try to make it match your beauty to what you perceive to be the beauty of another. Many souls who are different and unique were not understood, acknowledged, and valued for who they were as children. Instead, they were encouraged to conform, to change, to be other than their true self in order to be loved. Absolutely. This can be a hard pattern to break. Yet the time is here for you to love and honor yourself as yourself. You are beautiful. You do not need to change for another. You certainly do not need to change for the divine. You are being encouraged instead to distill your essence, to become even more of you. Hold your center now and do not be rattled by any other through intimidation, confrontation, doubt, jealousy, or fear. To hold your center means you accept your innate value and worth, your right to exist and thrive, and accept the love that created you as you in order to fulfill your divine destiny. This oracle brings you confirmation. You are on the right path. I love that. You do not need to collapse into fear or doubt to ease old guilt or make others more comfortable. It is not selfish or hard for you to be strong. You can hold yourself in high esteem and be gentle and loving to others whilst absolutely refusing to accept any behavior, belief, or attitude of another that would tear you down or cast you into doubt or self-hatred. As part of your spiritual training, your soul learned to be open to receive guidance and channel healing. This is what you need to be able to do to function as a healer, channel, and light worker. You have had to be sensitive, receptive, and open. Now is the time to balance that with resilience, strength, and even some divine stubbornness. Refusing to give up on who you are whilst remaining open to guidance is the balance of loving wisdom necessary to grow yourself as a divinely unique individual in a world that often fears true individuality, simply because it cannot be easily controlled. Yes! Holding your center doesn't mean that you no longer surrender. Instead, you consciously choose to surrender into divine love and grow more empowered. You are here to shine a light, to be the lighthouse for others. The lighthouse doesn't ask for permission to shine. It stands still, shines faithfully, and those who need it are guided by its light to safety. Do not lose faith in yourself, beloved soul. You know who you are. Be strong. Honor your inner beauty and your personal boundaries. You need to feel safe in your ability to say no as much as you need to know that you will say yes when your heart guides you to do so. Be true to you. Well, that was on point. I feel like that was perfect. Okay, that always happens. It's always the perfect way to end the reading. So I hope this was helpful. I'm sending you lots of love. I hope you have a wonderful moon, and I'm sending light.